Gergely is the executive director of the European Roma Rights Centre in Budapest. The Romanian lawyer also has Roma roots. He believes anti-Roma sentiment is instilled in the European psyche and will take decades to change.
It is a very difficult process because I think it has to do with the fact that it's embedded into the mental of the societies we are living in for centuries, effectively. I mean, we know that since the beginning of the presence of the Roma in Europe, they have been perceived as outsiders, as something which is not to be touched.
Increase of anti-Roma statements and more.
Originally, there was no debate about Roma scheduled this week in Strasbourg. It was the scandal in Sweden that triggered it, when one reporter discovered that over 4,000 Roma, including babies, were in a secret police database. Swedish authorities have since apologised, but the incident has caused alarm, as Sweden always fancied itself as the star pupil on minority rights. For the Swedish Liberal MEP Cecilia Wikström, it's painful to see such a development in her country. She says it's illegal to establish such a register based on ethnicity. She believes it violates the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights. Viviane Reding did not mention Sweden in her discourse. The Commission never comments on national investigations. She expressed her shame, though, on hearing so many anti-Roma comments in the chamber.
Roma are human beings. This might not be agreed by everybody in this House, but this is an evidence. Roma are EU citizens, and as this, they have the same rights and the same obligations as other citizens.
Since summer 2010, when the forced expulsion of many Roma from France made international headlines, the Commission has been taking Roma rights more seriously. An EU Roma strategy exists, but to the dismay of many NGOs and human rights organisations, it's mostly nice words and not enough action.
So far, we don't have any infringement procedure from the European Commission on Roma-related issues in any member states. We do have some let's say, public messages, more or less threatening, some states in terms of initiating procedures. France, yeah, 2010, we had a very strong voice from Reding saying we were looking to start infringement procedures against France, but that didn't happen. There are many countries like Romania, like Italy, like France, like Czech Republic, like Slovakia, where we have instances of discrimination where action can be taken from the part of the European Commission.
United in diversity has been the EU's famous slogan since the year 2000. But it seems on Roma integration, most Europeans are united in intolerance and fear. Research from the Open Society once revealed that non-Roma had described Roma people as dishonest, unhygienic, poorly educated and prone to criminality.
I mean, the problem I can say is that the people do not really want to build a future with all equal citizens, because if that is the case, then we will not have a discrimination, and every government, every single citizen take as a foundation the Constitution, then everybody will be treated equally. We don't need any special treatments. And I think people are in a way tired, because in a country where there is a big rise of discrimination and hatred, is that the government really do not do enough for a majority, and majority do not find any other way to express unhappiness. They try to discriminate others.
And I think there's a distrust, a much lower trust in governments in terms of how they are dealing in general with economic situations. And I think that the far-right groups are very much playing with these anxieties, because they can shift the discourse, and basically it is extremely easy to look into a scapegoat. Now the scapegoat, the easiest, is the Roma. And the linkage with the threat to public order, threat to security, threat to values. When you have this discourse shifted from the anxieties related to economic lack of economic measures, high levels of unemployment, and distrust in governance, this is very easily playing into. So as a matter of fact, I think this open agenda on Roma, on particularly anti-Roma, was paying off votes.